The silent test every senior over 70 should do right now to know if their legs are strong enough to live independently. Good evening. Before you do anything else tonight, I want you to try something. It's going to take less than 60 seconds, you don't need any equipment, and you can do it right where you're sitting. But I want to warn you, the result of this small test may be the most important piece of information you've received about your health in years. Here's the test. Sit in a firm chair with your arms crossed over your chest. No pushing off with your hands. No rocking forward 3 times to build momentum. Simply sit, cross your arms, and stand up. Then sit back down. Do this 5 times in a row, as steadily and safely as you can, and notice how long it takes you. That's it. That's the whole test. It's called the 5 times sit-to-stand test, and it has been studied extensively by researchers in physical therapy, geriatric medicine, and fall prevention. It's used in clinical settings around the world because it measures something critically important: functional leg strength. Not the kind of strength you show off at a gym, the kind of strength that determines whether you can get off the toilet independently, whether you can rise from a chair at a restaurant without help, and whether your legs will catch you if you stumble. Before we go any further, I want to be completely clear. I'm not a medical professional, and this video is not a substitute for evaluation by your doctor or a physical therapist. If you have any joint pain, balance concerns, or recent injuries, please do not attempt any physical test without guidance from your healthcare provider first. What I'm sharing tonight is general wellness information based on publicly available research, not a diagnosis. Drop a comment below and tell me, were you able to do all 5 stands? How did it feel? I read every comment and I genuinely want to know. Now let me explain what the research tells us about this test and what your result actually means. What the numbers mean. Researchers have established general benchmarks for how long the 5 times sit-to-stand test should take based on age. For adults between the ages of 70 and 79, completing 5 stands in under 12 seconds is generally considered a sign of good functional leg strength. Between 12 and 16 seconds suggests some weakness worth addressing. Over 16 seconds, or being unable to complete all 5 without using your arms, is associated in research with a significantly elevated risk of falls and reduced ability to perform daily tasks independently. For adults 80 and older, the benchmarks shift slightly. Under 14 seconds is a reasonable target, and anything over 18 seconds tends to flag meaningful functional decline. Now, I want to be careful here and say what the research actually says, not what makes for a dramatic headline. This test is a screening tool, not a verdict. A slower time doesn't mean you're destined to lose your independence. It means your legs may be weaker than they need to be right now, and that is something that can be improved, often more than people expect, with the right kind of consistent, targeted movement. Why leg strength matters so much after 70. Most people don't think about leg strength until something goes wrong. A fall, a stumble on the stairs, a moment where the legs simply didn't respond the way the brain expected. By that point, weakness has usually been building quietly for years. After the age of 60, adults can lose somewhere between 1 and 2% of their muscle mass per year in the absence of regular resistance-based activity. This process, called sarcopenia, accelerates with age and tends to affect the lower body, the quadriceps, glutes, and calves, particularly significantly since these are the muscles most involved in standing, walking, and recovering from a loss of balance. Falls are the leading cause of injury-related death in adults over 65 in the United States, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. And the most consistent predictor of fall risk is not age itself, it's functional leg strength and balance. This is why the sit-to-stand test is considered such a meaningful measure. Rising from a chair requires a coordinated effort from the same muscle groups that catch you when you stumble. The good news, and there is genuinely good news here, is that skeletal muscle responds to appropriate training at virtually any age. Research has found meaningful improvements in leg strength, balance, and functional mobility in adults well into their 80s and 90s who began regular, strength-focused movement programs. The body's capacity to adapt doesn't disappear with age. It simply needs to be used. 3. Evidence-based habits to build leg strength. Now, what can you actually do about it? Here are 3 practical, low-impact habits supported by research for rebuilding and maintaining functional leg strength after 70. Habit 1. Chair squats, done daily. You don't need a gym or any equipment. The same movement as the test itself, standing from a chair and sitting back down in a controlled way, is one of the most effective exercises for strengthening the quadriceps and glutes that support independent movement. The key difference between the test and the exercise is pace and intentionality. For the exercise, lower yourself back into the chair slowly and with control, rather than dropping. That controlled lowering, called an eccentric contraction, is where a significant portion of the strength-building stimulus comes from. Start with whatever number feels manageable and doesn't cause pain. Even 5 to 8 repetitions, once or twice a day, done consistently, tends to produce measurable improvement over 4 to 8 weeks. Over time, you work toward building up to 2 to 3 sets of 10 or more. Research on chair-based strength exercises in older adults consistently finds improvements not just in measured leg strength, but in self-reported ease of daily activities. Habit 2. Heel raises for calf strength and balance. Standing behind a sturdy chair and rising up onto your toes, then slowly lowering back down, strengthens the calves, muscles that are critical for balance and for the push-off phase of walking. Calf weakness is one of the contributing factors to the slower, shorter stride that increases fall risk as we age. 10 to 15 heel raises performed slowly, once or twice a day, is a manageable starting point. Hold the chair lightly for balance support rather than gripping it tightly, since the goal over time is to reduce reliance on the support as balance improves. Habit 3. Daily walking, especially on slightly uneven surfaces. Walking remains one of the most well-supported activities for maintaining functional mobility in older adults. Beyond cardiovascular benefits, regular walking maintains the neuromuscular coordination, the communication between your brain and your leg muscles, that is critical for balance and fall prevention. Slightly varied terrain, like a gentle nature path or a neighborhood with varied sidewalks, provides more balance challenge than a completely flat treadmill, and research on balance training suggests this kind of varied, real-world movement may be more beneficial for fall prevention than controlled flat surface walking alone. Even 20 to 30 minutes most days of the week, at a comfortable pace, contributes meaningfully to maintaining the functional leg strength that keeps you independent. A word about when to see your doctor or a physical therapist. If your sit-to-stand test reveals significant difficulty, or if you already have concerns about your balance and mobility, I'd encourage you to bring this up with your doctor at your next visit. A referral to a physical therapist can be genuinely valuable. A trained PT can assess your specific strength and balance profile, identify any underlying issues contributing to weakness, and design a program appropriate for your exact situation, including any joint concerns or other health conditions that affect what exercise is safe for you. There are also evidence-based fall prevention programs specifically designed for older adults, some available through local hospitals, community centers, and senior centers that have been shown in research to meaningfully reduce fall rates among participants. These programs typically combine strength, balance, and functional movement training in a supervised social setting. The most important message I want you to take from tonight is this: leg strength after 70 is not a fixed, unchangeable thing. It responds to consistent effort. Whether your sit-to-stand test felt easy, challenging, or like something you'd rather not repeat, what matters is what you do consistently from here. If this video was helpful, please subscribe. I share practical